Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We get a list of 9 properties, and thank you once again for tuning in. So let's get started with the first one. It's on Bronte, Unit 35. It's at $269, which is a very aggressive price. I definitely endorse this one. It looks like they've done some work to the home. It looks like the stairs have had some work done. Those are real wood cabinets, so you can paint them, you can stain them, you can do a lot. If you don't like the color here, the stove looks older than me, but the fridge and dishwasher look like they've been replaced. So it's one of those things where I understand that the stove may be working, but for sale purposes, when you can buy a black stove for a couple $100s on Kijiji, it doesn't make any sense to put something like that. The kitchen is the most important room in the entire house, and it looks like they've done a little bit of work in the bathrooms. So at least from what I can see here, it looks like it's priced very well given what else is sold. And we gave some context in yesterday's video about how the condo towns are priced, and the maintenance fees are actually some of the lowest in town in that complex. So this one on Maple, number 105, it's at $288, and so it's a 1+1. It's between 800 and 900 square feet, and I've always believed if you're getting up into this range and this size of home, it's probably better to go with an actual 2-bedroom versus a 1+1. I think it's better for resale, and it opens you up to different options of living. So master's a nice size. You've even got a little nook here to put a little chair, so it'd be great if you like to read in your room, and that's your den there too. So now I'm not sure if this one, it says walk out to quiet ravine. You've got a first floor, which typically people tend to subtract a bit of value. Facing this is a nice thing. You hope that it brings the value back up and that it cancels each other out. I kind of like the first floor. I like seeing green around it. Maybe feels a little bit less like a condo. You're not waiting if there's problems with elevators, so you've got main floor access, very easy to bring groceries in, and there's a lot of nice things about this one. So you know, aside from the price, I like it. I think there's some things that you can definitely get out of that you can't find elsewhere. So Elmwood is $439, bungalow, 60 by 120 foot lot. You've only got one full washroom, which usually in a bungalow you hope that you've got one on both floors. Hardwood floors here. You've got a bathroom with a bidet, so look out. Bidets are kind of cool. Actually, I've never used one before. I don't know, but the thought is kind of fascinating to me. So updated furnace and AC, and then you've got a new washer dryer. Beyond that, I don't know. You've got home inspection reports. Some buyers with a pre-inspection still want to do their own, because the question comes up is, how well did the home inspector, what were their qualifications? Were they trying to appease the sellers? Normally it should be an independent third-party neutral opinion, but I would still give a buyer an option to certainly do their own home inspection, even with a pre-inspection done. Hepburn is $449, so it's about 1,800 square feet, and it looks like a very good price for the size of this home. We've seen 1,800 square foot semis go up in the $470 to $480 range, and this one has some hardwood floor on the main level. You've got laminate floor upstairs in the 2 bedrooms. You've got a hardwood in the loft on the 2nd floor. The one thing I'd be concerned about is when you have different flooring on the same level, like laminate and carpet and hardwood, sometimes it can kind of ruin the flow, but it's hard to tell without seeing it. The other thing that I noticed about this listing is it's a 105-foot lot. Standard size Mattamy is 80 feet, so you get an extra 20 feet here, plus the size at less than 450. If it's half decent inside, I would say that this one could be a very strong option. Farmstead is $529. It's 1,835 square feet. It's a Mattamy Plan 4 on the 34 series lots. I really like the floor plan here. You've got your dining plus your living. Go down the hall here. There's a small front room that you can use as a living room or an office or a quiet reading area. 9-foot ceilings, it looks like, on this home. You've got your pantry, plus you've got a very open concept kitchen. So it's good. 4 bedrooms upstairs. Always like this floor plan. They've really gone up in price in the last 6 months. I mean, you used to be able to buy these for around $500,000, and they've really cranked up, probably in that 6 months more or less. Kincardine has a separate entrance in the back. But the thing is, if you're buying a home at $700,000 and it's an unfinished basement, is it worthwhile to do a basement apartment? You're going to have to finish your basement for $20,000 or $30,000. You're going to rent it out for probably close to $1,000. you know, you make your money back in 3 years. Are people going to think long term enough about the house to actually put a basement apartment in? The rest of the house looks like it has some decent finishes in here. It looks like there's laminate floor up on the second floor, but there's even some laminate on the main. So we've got these kind of mismatched floors. The builder did that, which is good. Yeah, so you've got laminate floor through here. Then you've got living dining with hardwood. You have to be really careful that the flooring matches on the same level. For the extra cost, it's worth it. It makes a lot of sense. Kelman is 2661 square feet. It's a wood lily corner. And so in some of the other photos, you'll see that nice turret in the front. You've got a good elevation. There's a nice shot there. Typically, the wood lily corners are selling kind of in the mid-6s. So these guys are banking on some of their upgrades. Here's the thing. They show a picture of a door. Okay, so there's a door. They have a finished basement in this home, and there's not one shot of the finished basement. So maybe they're trying to show these little valence lights and things like that. But the point is that I don't need both of these shots here. I get it. I can see the first one. I don't need the second one. I know there's a fireplace from the other photos, and I know they're trying to kind of walk through the whole thing. Kitchen looks great, by the way. But show the finished basement, even something like that. I already had the inside shot of those front inserts. Delete one of those and put some shots of the basement. That would really, really help them. The other thing is the 99-foot lot. So there's a hidden benefit there because the standard Mattamy lots for these ones is about 88 feet. So they shrunk the width of the lot and they pushed it out a little bit more in this phase. Bottom line is I think there's some hidden features on this one that I think would really... I don't think they're that far off given some of the recent sales. Although we had an inside which is a little bit smaller than the corner that sold that dipped below $600,000 on, I think it was a little bit of a pressure situation where they might have bought something. So Pineview is $1.4 million. The thing about this price range that's interesting, well, first of all, from a mortgage qualification standpoint, the next one we're going to show after this is 1.7. But it gets harder and harder as you go up into the $1 million range. First of all, you can buy a $995,000 home for 5% down. You hit $1 million, CMHC is not going to finance it, which means you need at least a minimum of 20%. And a lot of lenders, what they do is when you hit 1.2, 1.5, 1.8, they start to ask for more and more down payments. So you might require not just a 20% down payment, you might need 35%, 50% as you go up in the price range. So that's why the pool of buyers that can actually float that down payment is a little bit less. And I know there are buyers that could pay this with cash, and that's cool. But for the vast majority of people, there is some financing involved. A $1 million buyer, the second thing I want to mention is that they're very specific, right? Is that the wrong color kitchen floor could throw them off. Or for example, here you've got a little bit of green in the counter space. That's not the current style. It's kind of a style from yesteryear. So the backsplash in the counter can throw someone off. So they can be more particular in this price range, the $1 million buyers, about what they really like. And they can afford to be particular about what they want and don't want. Now, MacArthur is in MacArthur Estates and kind of that English manor style. You've got a bit of a balcony effect here. Probably around the same size as the previous one. They've got a nice range in the kitchen. Very nice architectural features. And you're on about 5 acres compared to the previous one on 2. Still going to be a bit of a tough time when you have like the borders. Most people are not looking for that border. It's more of a modern look to it. Beautiful estate. The thing is about these homes is you got to go see this stuff because the land, the impression, the surroundings, you cannot put that in pictures. You can do it in a video kind of, but it still doesn't, it's not the same as going to see it. I love the look of that kind of gazebo right on the corner there. So anyway, there's past $1 million. You have basically 20 pictures and you have like 460 characters to try and capture the magic of something like this. So it's a little bit tricky. That's the list for today. If you have any questions, give me a call. And we're running tours this weekend. So if you have, actually we run them 7 days a week, miltontourofhomes.com, or you can go to that side there and just request your tour. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.